Hi everyone, Chris Natsky here with Superfoot Stories. Thanks so much for joining us. We're here with Bill Superfoot Wallace. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic again.
Again. Well, great. Well, last time we met with you, you talked about how you met Joe Louis for the first time and how you were competing in point tournaments against each other. And then you were talking about the choices you made in martial arts.
Right.
And I've heard you share the story before, but I want you to share it again about a choice you made when you got a call from Joe Louis.
Well, it was a semi-choice, you might say. I fought Joe in two tournaments, both of them USK Grand Nationals, one in 1970 and the other in Memphis, Tennessee in 1972. And luckily, I won both of them. So not a brag, because I outscored him, let's put it that way. I didn't win, I didn't beat him. I just hit him before he hit me, and his were a lot harder hits than mine were. But anyway, I graduated Ball State. I went to Memphis State University to do my graduate work. I get the graduate work done. I moved from Memphis up to Indianapolis to work for Kenny Knutson, just to help him get some stuff going. So I'm teaching classes. My father calls up and says, I have a interview for you to teach at this school. Dad, I don't want to be a school teacher. You're going to do the interview. Yes, sir. So I drive up to Frankfort, Indiana, about 30 miles from Lafayette, about 50 miles from Indianapolis. I go meet the superintendent of public schools. I give him my resume. I tell him what I can do. And this is, I'll never forget this. He says, I see on your resume you're a wrestler. I said, yes, sir. He says, oh, well, our wrestling coach is going to retire in another 5 or 6 years, and you'll be first in line for the job. And you'll put another $100 in your pocket a month.
Oh, nice.
Good. But right now you'll be the assistant coach, which is nothing. And I went, okay, sir. And so we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. I said, thank you. And I'm driving home. My father calls me when I get back to the school, and he says, they want you. They want you. I said, Dad, I don't want to teach high school. Well, think about it. Think about it. I said, okay. So I hang up the phone, go out in the room, start working out. Phone rings. Herb Johnson, who's my was my first black belt, says, Mr. Wallace? I said, yes, sir. He says, you might want to take this phone call. So I go in. I said, hello? It's Red West. Red says, Bill, how are you doing? I said, well, I'm fine, Red. How are you doing? He says, Elvis wants to talk to you.
And then Red West is what?
Elvis is chief of security.
Okay, very good.
So I answered the phone. I said, yes, sir. He says, hi, Bill. How are you doing? I said, I'm fine, sir. How are you doing? You could tell us it because of the way he talked. And he says, I want you to come back to Memphis. I want to open up a school where I have a place, my guys have a place to train and work out, and I want you to run it. And I went, okay. Anything to get out of being a school teacher.
Right.
So I said, okay, I can do that. He says, I'll pay you X amount of dollars a month, put a car in your hands, put you in a house.
Wow.
I mean, I had to pay for it, but he got me out. I said, okay. So I hang up, and I'm on 7. This is the most fun I've ever had. Excited working with Glenn Kenny. I call my dad up. I said, Dad, put Mom on the phone. So Mom gets on the phone. I says, Mom, you like Elvis Presley, right? She says, yeah, because he took me to see Love Me Tender. I said, okay, Mom, Dad's not going to be really thrilled with this, but I just took a job working for Elvis Presley. Mom, you there? My dad picks up the phone. He says, what'd you just tell your mother? I said, I told her I just took a job working for Elvis Presley. Dad, you there? And, finally.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
And I explained to him. But still, when are you going to quit doing this shit? Literally, when are you going to quit doing this shit and get a job?
Wow.
My father, up until I won the world championships, never thought it was a job.
Your dad was a school teacher?
He was a school teacher, but I was teaching the whole time.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, so.
But that wasn't the only big thing that happened that day.
That same night, about an hour and a half later, I'm floating on air. Mike Anderson calls me. He says, Bill, we're putting together a team. We're going to go over to Europe and fight, and you're our middleweight. I know I'm the middleweight. When we go, we're going in May. I said, I can do that. He said, we're going to fight in Germany. I said, great. Who are we fighting? Bill, you don't understand. Sure I do. We're going to go to Germany and fight the Germans. No problem. He says, no, Bill, this is full contact. We're fighting to the knockout. Mike, you guys have a wonderful time. Enjoy yourself. Call me when you get back. Right now, I can throw a kick. I can throw a punch. Think it does good. Think I could have killed you. I don't want to have to prove it. Right. No. Mike, come on, Bill. We're going to come. All the guys are going to, Jeff's going to do it. Howard's going to do it. No. You guys have a good time. This is Joe Louis. You're going to do it. Joe, come on. I don't want to do it. I'm having fun doing this. I got a wife and I got a kid. I don't want to die. He said, you're going to do it. Joe, Wallace, I'm your senior.
Ooh.
I outrank you.
Uh-oh.
I was black belt before you were in Okinawa. Is that true? Yes, sir. And you're supposed to do what your seniors tell you, right? Yes, sir. So you're going to do this, right? Okay, I'll try it. And remember what we said last time? How we're given choices, how we can make something happen or not make it happen. It was probably for me, the best choice I ever made.
Yeah.
When it comes to the competition aspect of it.
Wow. And then it's absolutely amazing to me that you got the call from Elvis and then Mike Anderson and Joe Louis on like the same night.
Oh yeah,
and two major decisions that changed your life.
I'm this high, and then I'm this high.
Oh my gosh!
And
Wow.
then when Joe calls, I'm going, oh my God, I'm going to die.
yes,
But you have to understand. Joe Louis, Jeff Smith, myself, and Howard Jackson. We were the team. The alternate was Jim Buten. We four were the American team going over to Germany to fight. Joe is the only one that knew how to hit somebody hard. He's the only one with boxing. The rest of them didn't know how to box. I didn't know how to box, but I was fast.
Right.
So I'm thinking, I can do good. But I found out real quick, if you got Patty on these hands,
Yeah.
all those reverse punches we're throwing with the knuckles,
Right.
all the ridge hands from this point is null and void.
Yeah.
That's why the boxing techniques we found out are the best.
Right. Well, I think what we're going to do is stop right there because it sounds like 1974 you make that choice, and love to hear what happened when we went over to Europe, and then also what happened in September of that year when you fought in the World Championships. September of 74.
September 74.
Something happened, I think, back then. Yeah.
About 4 months before my birthday. Let me see.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, I'll come up
All
with
right,
it.
we'll come up with something. All right, everybody. So thanks so much for listening. Stay tuned because we're going to hear about the first World Full Contact Karate Championships in 1974. This has been Chris Natsky with Superfoot Stories, and we'll see you next time.